They say that you are the average of the friends and company you keep. So I want us to improve our average together. I want us to become smarter, more successful, healthier, happier, and more fulfilled in our everyday lives. Think about it. The stronger we are as individuals, the more we can serve those around us. I'll be interviewing friends that happen to be experts in their field, and I invite you to join in on the conversation. So, welcome to the I Have Cool Friends podcast, a show that sparks inspirational conversations with experts about business, wellness, and personal development. Welcome back to the I Have Cool Friends podcast. I am honored to have Noah Neiman on the show today. He's an insanely busy guy with dogs, with fitness, with motorcycles, and juggling lots of career things too. So we are extremely happy to have you.
Oh, thank you for having me. You're very liberal with the word cool, though. I don't know about that. I have cool.
Well, what do you think?
Dogs. I don't know.
What's your definition of cool? Let's just start with that.
Honestly, it's really simple. Be a nice person. Be a nice person. There is no way to be a scrub or to be uncouth if you're nice to people. Because all this other stuff is great. The things, that's awesome. But that will never define your coolness. Your coolness is, how do you treat people that can do nothing for you? How do you treat yourself first and foremost? And then how do you ultimately treat other people? I learned that the hard way through a lot of ups and downs and a lot of honestly being an asshole and not being an asshole and being, all over the place and really finding my grounding in my favorite quote, which I say every single time I'm honored enough to do like these podcasts or blogs or whatever. It's Muhammad Ali, who I'll show you my autographed Muhammad Ali, who he actually touched it and did it. I got it from a client. It's service to others is our rent for our room here on earth. And I think that is honestly it embodies everything that we should be doing as humans, right? How do we serve other people, right? And that makes you cool. That makes you impactful. That makes you important. Not the fucking followers, not the, hey, look, like, not like, hey, like this, like with the back out and the booty's popping and you got like spinal problems because of your Instagram following.
I'm dying laughing.
Not taking shots at anybody. But
Right.
I'm just saying, like, that's cool. That's fine. But that doesn't make you cool. What makes you cool is how do you treat other people? How do you treat animals? How do you treat, the waiter? How do you treat the person that seemingly can do nothing for you? That's I think, a better barometer of the things. But the things are fun.
I love that so much because people always ask me, since my podcast is called I Have Cool Friends, what do I think cool means? And I think that, like you said, cool is such a liberal definition of what different people think it means. But to me, it's like, are you using your heart? Are you using your mind? Are you using your ability to make the world better? And I'm lucky enough to have so many friends that do all three of those. And I get to include you in that.
Oh, well, that is very kind of you to say. And I would say the same for you. I mean, I know so many countless young girls look up to you and the role model that you are. And through your sport, you've been able to transcend that box and then open up into doing other things. So, I mean, that's cool. That's cool.
Thanks, Noah. Okay.
So you cool too.
Thank you. I'm glad we can hang. I'm glad we're moving past that. All right. So typically this is the part of the show where I give a little background to catch everybody up on where you are now, but you are so multi-passionate.
You can't hear the NYPD? That's our symphony.
He's in New York. They're looking for him. Should we say your address on the show?
That was when I was a kid. Maybe Pittsburgh PD. New York PD, leave me alone. I'm good now. I'm an upstanding citizen.
Right. All right. So since you're so multi-passionate, I want to read what I've got on you and then you can fill in the blanks. Okay. Does that work?
You think you know me? You don't know me.
We'll see.
You don't know me.
All right. So Noah started out as an accountant. He had a scary wake-up call with his parents where he realized the importance of health. He became a personal trainer and a boxing coach and was quickly selling out every class, which is no shock to me because I've taken his classes and they're amazing, insanely amazing. He made the jump from just a casual trainer to being a fitness entrepreneur and a world-class trainer. And in 2017, he took it to the next level by opening Rumble with a couple business partners and friends. Now he's still crushing it and has a really cute dog named Oz and another cute dog that he just rescued.
Two new cute dogs. Other than that, that was really flawless.
Thank you.
Wow. Are you available for PR? Like, I feel like I should. That was pretty good.
Thank you. I did intern at a PR company in college.
Nailed it. You just held a lot of that. You retained a lot of knowledge from that.
Thank you. Thank you. Well, just to catch everybody up too on how we met, I was actually visiting Nastia Lukin. I think it was in 2014. And
No.
she's right.
That long ago? Where is life going? Wow.
I know. And you were still a trainer. This was, I think, way before Rumble. She set us up with a workout with this guy, quote unquote, this guy who works out in her building. And that guy happened to be Noah.
Neighbors. Yeah. Nastia and I, she lived like 2 floors up or something like that.
And I just remember being sore for 3 days after that workout.
I remember holding that as a badge of honor because I was training 2 incredibly athletic, Olympians. And I was like, oh, cool. And the workout wasn't too shitty because here we are years later.
Here we are. Yeah. And I remember we reconnected because I was in New York and looking for a workout class or something new to do. And Nasty was like, Noah just opened his boxing studio. You should hit him up. And so that's when I reached out, came to your class, and the rest is history.
That was fun. We should do that more.
We should.
Yeah, we're going to do that.
Next time I'm in New York.
Yes. Or when I'm in LA.
Right. Either way.
That's the things. Those are like those are the accolades. Those are like the I guess the professional progressions. But that's I mean,
all right. Well, let's get into the details then. All right. So I first want to ask you about your career switch because it's a really scary thing to switch careers, especially when you're going from a quote unquote stable career to more of the entrepreneurial personal training route. A lot of people dislike their careers. A lot of people have health issues. Most people never leave their current situation. How tough was it for you to make that shift mentally to make a change in your career?
It was incredibly difficult. I mean, fear is crippling. Fear will have you, on your deathbed at, 85 years old saying, damn, I wish I did that. So I think the only thing that was worse than fear was was the fear coupled with regret. I was like, I'm miserable. This can't be I got to be destined for more than this. I always had a lot of probably an overabundance of confidence as a kid and growing up. And I just was sitting at this desk. And I remember just like calling my parents because I'm very close to my family. And I was just like, I've always been like a big dude. Like I remember sitting in the bathroom of my job, in my accounting job, like literally crying, like 205 pounds, like muscles and like jujitsu guy. And I'm like I'm sitting there honestly. And I was crying. I was like crying to my mom. Like I was a little 7, like I was a, 20 some year old man. And I was just, I kept saying, I'm like, I got to be destined for more than this. And I remember the pivotal point and what really helped me push myself out of that safety net and that zone was I remember my boss pulled me into his office and I had a lot of family stuff going on. I had some family issues. I had personal issues going on. I've always had ADHD and I've just had a lot of like emotional things going on my whole life since I was a kid. And my boss sat me in his office and he goes, you're such a great accountant. Clients love you. You're so personable, but like, you got to focus. Like we need you to do this, 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 and this. And he said this one line and he goes, in like 5 years, like, don't you want this? Like you could be sitting in this office. And I honestly, this is what I did. I looked up and I thought about it. Like, like the montage, like Rocky montage, like my whole life, like flashed in my head. And like, I played out like having a kid in like Westchester and like having his office. And I was like, nope, not for me. So I was like, you know what? Gotta go. I quit right there. I was just done. I was done. And that was right around the time when, like, again, my family was going through some things and I moved back to Pittsburgh in my parents' house. I know you're spending time with your family right now. So you know how difficult, but incredible that can be on the same breath. So I moved back to Pittsburgh and I went deep down. Like I didn't just fall into being a trainer. I went through this phase of drugs, hanging out with my childhood friends that were just not really good for me. Partying too much. I didn't have a purpose. I was, again, dealing with family stuff. And, I remember what got me into fitness was actually my parents kicking me out of Pittsburgh. They kicked me out of the whole city because one night I woke up or I was partying with my friends and I did way too many drugs. Don't do drugs, kids. Learn from my mistakes. And I remember I woke up at the hospital and my family was there, like my sister, my nieces, my nephews, my brother, and like I adore these people. And like, having kids look up to you, like You don't want to disappoint these kids. And my mom and my dad and everybody was there, like my whole family. And they were like, I woke up and I was just kind of like out of it. And I looked at them and I just saw like a concerned, like look of like disappointment and like, again, them just being like disappointed and concerned mixed in like a face. And, I looked at them and I was like, sheesh. And then I never did another drug again. Well, the hard drugs, none of those drugs. Those drugs, done. So my parents go, or my mom especially, but my dad too, he's like, yo, he's like, Pittsburgh is no good for you. You're like doing terrible things. You're meant for more than this. So I went to New York. They kicked me out. They gave me $10,000, which is what, that's a lot of money for anybody, but it's not
for someone that was just doing a lot of drugs.
A lot of drugs,
a lot of money.
Bank account. I might have like had net less than zero on my bank account. And they sent me to New York, and I found a Craigslist apartment that like I got for like $1,500 or $2,000 a month. And again, when you have 10 grand, that's not a lot of time to figure out your whole life when you've just thrown it like in the fucking toilet. So by the grace of whoever, one of my friends who I had just gotten help get in shape in college, this guy, Micah Jesse, and I always tell this story. He was like a red carpet, like analyst or something. He had like a blog, like a celebrity blog. And he goes, yo, you got to come to this thing called Barry's Boot Camp. It's Kim Kardashian's favorite workout. I got some classes for my birthday and I'm going to do a write up on it. And I want you to like, you're a fitness guy. Like, what do you think of it? And I wasn't in fitness at the time, but I had a past in fitness. I've trained jujitsu pretty much, 10 years, strength training, strength and conditioning with some of the best coaches in Allegheny County, which is Pennsylvania football, which is like some of the best in the country. So I had all that knowledge just built up and I didn't know what it was going to lead to. So I went to this class and I'm like doing the workout and I thought it was going to be some like Jane Fonda, like and it wasn't. That shit whooped my ass. And, I remember walking out and I'm like, yo, this is kind of dope. And the teacher happened to be the owner, now CEO, or one of the now owners and now CEO, Joey Gonzalez. And he was like, yo, I don't know what you do, but you look like you could do what we do. Do you want to do this? And I was like, yes, I do. I certainly do. I most certainly do. I have nothing to do and I'm broke. And so like, I got the job. I did all the training and all that stuff. So like, and they gave me one class at 9 p.m. at night, Monday. And I was like, what the fuck am I going to do at 9 p.m.? It's late as hell. And who's going to want to work out with me at 9 p.m.? And like, sometimes I show up, there'd be like 2 people. Sometimes I show up, there'd be no people. And then a few weeks went by. I started branding it Vampire Fitness Hour. And like, this is back when like Twilight was cool as hell. And like everyone was loving vampires and like late night shit. And so I was like, yo, let me brand this. Let me like brand it something cool, like something that maniacs do at night. Like you ain't normal if you work out at 9 p.m. and do an hour-long boot camp class. You're a fucking maniac and I like you and I want you to hang out with me. So I branded it on Facebook or something like that because Facebook was popping and it wasn't, reshaping the course of our country at that time. So I started getting more people and like 5 became 10 became 20. Then they started giving me Monday through Thursday, 9 p.m. And I started selling out every class and like I started getting write-ups in the Times and like in GQ and Esquire and all these things are writing on just like what I love to do. But honestly, what the catalyst for that was, I didn't have time to worry about my own shit. I had to give to other people. I had to focus on them, making sure they were having a good time, making sure that they were doing the exercises safely, making sure I was programming right, making sure I was doing the music right, making sure I was entertaining. And I was like, by the end of it, I was exhausted. And I'm like, damn, that's harder than a 5-hour workout, like just teaching that hour class. But I felt satisfied because I got to interact with 60 plus people. And then I started getting 3 classes a day and 4 classes a day. And I'm selling out everything and I'm seeing 200 people a day. And, it was just, it was just a blessing because it got me out of my own head. And so I built up my reputation, using that, the branding of, like I said, just giving more than I can get and just really focusing on how much impact I could have on these 1 hour of people's time. And then my now business partner, Eugene Rem, came to me, 4 or 5 years into me teaching there and was like, yo, I think you should do this on your own. Like you have a name, you have a presence, your reputation is solid. And I was like, so let's do this. I got some partners and I originally told him no, because again, stability, that fear. But I remember thinking back to that time when I was like in my, my boss's office and my then boss and him saying, don't you want this? And I thought about like, what do I want? And I was like, I want my own. I want something that like this tattoo, like our branding, like this Rumble tattoo right here. That's our branding. And like this one, like that's mine, like ours, but that's like mine. Like it wouldn't be here without me. Like in the timeline, the space time continuum, like that would not exist without me being born, me putting in the work, and like that's awesome. That feels good. And now to couple that with the ability, we have, we service, 3,000 when we're open, live pre-COVID, 4,000 plus people a day. We get to impact those people. And that's not even live where we can reach, some of our videos have gotten hundreds and hundreds of thousands of hits shared all over the country or shared all over the world, getting to read a DM that's like, yo, my dad died and I haven't done anything for 2 weeks. And your class was the first thing I did where I felt normal. And I'm like, that's not like this, like, hey, like, look, like that's like somebody's emotions, somebody's moods have been elevated because of what we've been able to do. And like, that's fucking awesome. So now it's just about, continuing that.
It's incredible. You're doing such amazing things in the world of fitness. And like you mentioned, not just for people that work out every day or are fitness enthusiasts, but the everyday person that just needs a boost in their day that can walk in and get that, as you and I both know, that like adrenaline, that workout high from a class. But backing up a little bit, when you just opened Rumble in the first 4 months, you were averaging 600 people a day, including Justin Bieber, all the celebs.
Gotta bring got it. See, the Cool Kids podcast, gotta mention the Justin Biebers.
I mean, that's amazing.
That he's connected with his now wife at a Rumble, but I'm not saying it.
Wow. Are you claiming that you connected Justin Bieber and Haley?
Matchmaker. No, they've known each other forever. But I'm saying they were working out at Rumble LA together, and they're very cute together, and they're very in love. And I'm very, very happy. That's fine as I cuddle my 2 dogs or my 3 dogs and my motorcycle single. It's fine, Justin. Just have a good time with Haley Bieber. It's all good. It's fine.
Justin will set you up. I'm sure he'll pay back the favor.
Pay it forward, Jay. Listen, what I always say when anybody, because obviously, it's cool. It's cool to have like celebrity clientele and investors. Justin's actually one of our investors. But the thing that they love about it is Rumble's the great equalizer. Once you walk in the door, everybody gets treated like a fucking rock star. Everybody, no matter who you are, you're like stripped of like all of your worldly titles, and you're just like, you're there to get this positive experience that is going to make you challenge. It's going to make you work hard. It's going to test your physical limitations and capabilities, and it's going to improve your strength and your conditioning. And that's awesome. That's awesome. Yeah. Because you feel great. So again, whether you're a Justin Bieber or Justin Jones, the experience is the same. We treat you the same.
Well, when you started Rumble, you had a background in accounting. You were now, you knew how to train people. What was your role? Obviously, an entrepreneur, you kind of wear a lot of hats, but right at the beginning, what did you specialize in something?
Yeah, of course. I mean, I think so. I have 4 business partners in Rumble, 4 founders of Rumble. Eugene Rem, who is just one of the greatest hospitality and restaurateurs known to man. You know him from Catch Steak, Catch Vegas. He's owned some of the most iconic nightclubs in the world. So he and I were really, what I like to say is the king and queen, right? And then Andy Stensler and Anthony DeMarco were our parliament. So they were, Andy Stensler is a former serial entrepreneur, started a sandwich shop that got up to 100 shops, and he sold it. He exited for a ton of money and just builds businesses. Anthony DeMarco was the former managing director of Google pre-IPO. So, I mean, you're talking about intelligent people. Like, don't be the smartest person in the room ever. It's not good for you. I mean, it might feel good in your ego, but it's not good for anything else. So Eugene and I really became the culture kids, right? What do we want the substance of this brand to be? We love hip hop. We love boxing. We love street art. We love the Basquiat. I grew up in Pittsburgh with Warhol and Basquiat and seeing all of these cool like Campbell soup cans firsthand. So if you look at Rumble, really the body of Rumble is really what we wanted to see in fitness and what we want to see in the culture of working out. And so in that right, it's unique. It has to be unique because it's us, and we stay true to ourselves. So that was our role. Our role was, again, I couple Eugene and myself and Andy and Anthony kind of in 2 different lanes. But my role was really to be the spokesperson, to handle the media, to come up with the programming, to help pick the artwork, to see the aesthetics, the vibe, the culture, to build the culture on the forefront, because I was the only founder that was teaching. But again, it doesn't happen with the other three. It doesn't happen with Andy Stern, who was the first person we hired after from Orange Theory to help really round out the training and round out recruiting, and Joe Ferraro and Erica Hammond and Danny Burrell. And like, it takes so many people to make it happen that I was just a small cog in the wheel, so to speak, and to kick things off. And again, we call it trickle down swagonomics. So what it is you have to have a cool culture at the top that people can believe in, that's authentic, that's credible, and that works, that helps solve a problem. Our problem for our client was fitness is boring. You got to work out. How do we make it fun? How do we make it effective? And how do we utilize what we love so we're not disingenuous? So again, it's trickle down from the top. Trickle down economics doesn't work that well. Trickle down swagonomics, if you do it right, it works well. And the testament is, 13 studios already in the first couple of years, doing thousands of people a day, internationally recognized brand in a very saturated space. And I'm just grateful for my partners. I'm grateful for every single person, the front desk, the clean team, you guys for talking about us, our clients. It's just, it doesn't happen without everybody.
Do you still teach class?
Hell yeah. I actually have to teach relatively soon online. So I teach 5-6 days a week still.
Wow. And that's incredible to me because a lot of founders, a lot of entrepreneurs, you really have to move through different roles. Would you say that teaching is your genius?
That's what put me on the map. That's what got me where I am. Like, it'd be like, Karl Lagerfeld folding t-shirts in one of his stores. And like, that's what I wanted. I think that's cool. I get to learn from the customer. I get to be in front of the customer. I get to see what works. I get to see what doesn't work. I get to see areas of improvement on the forefront, right? I've never been one of these generals in the back, like, you should do this and you should do this and you should do this. And why aren't you doing this? It's like, no, I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I'm going to do this. I would like to teach you how to do this so that you can do it like this. And I'm sure you're going to bring your own spin to it. I'm sure you're going to have great ideas. So I'm going to listen to you because I don't know everything. I'm not, again, I'm not the smartest person in the room. I went to Hofstra, not Harvard. No disrespect to Hofstra. It was a great school, but it wasn't Harvard. But we did pick up a Harvard. We got Ashley Camerini, our now woman CEO, are proud to announce that. We have a female CEO who is incredibly intelligent, who breathes the product, who is incredibly articulate and smart and nuanced in the business. So shout out to Ashley. And congrats. She just got the promotion over COVID.
That's big time.
Yeah, massive. But again, like, that's what our brand stands for. Our brand stands for equality, and our brand has always been, one thing I'm really proud of is we raised over $118,000 for the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. We did this Rumble-thon, when the protests were starting, when the Black Lives Matter movements were really starting off. This is what we stand for. We stand for positivity, inclusivity, equality, so we did this Rumble-thon, this all-day Rumble-thon, characters from, all over the country. All of our Rumble trainers taught 10-minute segments. We raised over $120,000. And I'm so proud of that community and the clients and the trainers and the ops team coming together.
And I don't know about you, but fitness is something that I feel like you mentioned it earlier, is the great equalizer, right? Anybody can put shoes on, and doesn't matter what color your skin is or what athletic background you have, or, it's funny, I'll take class and sometimes I'll look around the room and I'm like, am I going to be the first one down? I went to the Olympics and I think I have to quit before anybody else. But it doesn't matter because everyone's just sweating together. And in a room like Rumble, there's something so powerful about bringing everyone in a room and everyone working just as hard.
But that's design, right? The low lights, the tighter community before social distancing, the tighter community where you feel the energy and you want that energy, but nobody's looking at you because they're too busy trying to, do their own thing and focus on their own thing. So again, everything's designed. We thought about it. We curated it because the client's important and we wanted them to have the greatest experience.
So you guys opened the first studio. It goes tremendously well, blowing up. Classes are booked up. And then you don't just decide to open one more studio. You guys go crazy, bananas, and you open 8. And I think now you have 13. Is that correct?
Yeah, in the first 3 years, which is unheard of.
It is unheard of.
Many businesses, but especially in the fitness industry.
What was the rationale between going for it and opening that many versus let's do one more and see how it goes?
Too much hip hop music growing up. Too much. Everything we do it big. The Wiz Khalifa. It's honestly, we we're confident. We're confident, but we're grounded in facts. We're grounded in numbers. We are grounded. We did our research. We had the money. We had the support from our investors. We had the real estate connection. So it was one of those things where we were ready and we didn't want to slow play it. We wanted to say, listen, the iron is hot. Like, right. If you throw a punch and you stun your opponent, you're not just going to be like, all right, well, let's wait. Maybe they're going to get up and maybe they're going to get like, all right, I'm a little tentative. No, you're going to like, you're going to knock them until you hit them in the ground or hit them and they hit the ground. So that was really, I don't know why I just went full Rocky on you. I don't know why I did that.
You should do the whole podcast in a Rocky.
I really should do it just like in my Sly voice, who is also, not to name drop, one of our investors, which is really cool. Like, but to have Sylvester Stallone back you and you're a boxing gym, like that gives you a little bit of bravado. That gives you a little bit of like, all right, we got this. We can fucking do this.
Absolutely.
So it was confidence, but it was grounded, right? We got, like I said, we got some smart people saying, listen, if the numbers aren't working, don't do this. You're an idiot. So we grew smart, we grew fast. And you're always going to have missteps. I think at one point, a couple years in, we stretched ourselves a little too thin. So we had to reel it back and we had to say, listen, let's focus on getting back to what our core competencies are, which is let's provide this great experience. Forget everything else. Forget about the growth for a second. Let's reinvest in just studios we have. So, and then right before COVID, we had our best numbers in the whole entirety of the company. Literally the first 2 months were our biggest numbers, skyrocketing. We were going to open Chicago and all this stuff. And then COVID hits. But guess what? My team is fucking awesome. We pivoted and then we turned Rumble TV into a really lucrative business. So we got hit in the chin, 13 studios shut, but then we provided this incredible outlet for Rumble Television using Zoom and doing IG Lives to build up our brand and market. And like I said, reaching hundreds and thousands of people, probably millions at this point. That was when we first started. So by doing what we just do best, which is provide great workouts.
At the beginning of quarantine, I was doing the Rumble IG Lives. They were great. They were fantastic.
I love it. But that's what started the business, right? I talk about as an entrepreneur, like sometimes you don't know where shit's going to lead. Like sometimes you do something and you got to live in the moment. That's why everyone always talks to me like, what's your 3 or 5 year plan? And I'm like, I don't fucking know. I'm trying to stay alive. Like the world's crazy right now. I don't know. But what I do know is if I wake up today and I teach the next class that I'm going to teach, that I have to teach, and I teach it with that same passion as the first class, I'll probably have more classes tomorrow and I'll probably be able to, do something greater based on that path and that trajectory. But if I focus on like trying to get there, I'm going to miss all these steps in the middle. Like I'm going to be too focused on the future. So I think that that's what we do really well as a group, as a core of entrepreneurs, is we focus on the now. We adapt right now. COVID hit. Cool. Let's do the digital stuff. All right, cool. IG Live, we can't monetize that, but we still want to have an impact on people. We still want to connect to our clients. All right, Zoom, we can do these classes. All right, we can't do indoor classes. All right, let's find outdoor spaces where we can and do it. So again, you're constantly being versatile. You're constantly moving. And it's just like a fight. And honestly, it's like analogous to fighting. You have to move. You're going to get hit. How do you respond? How do you adapt? How do you learn from your opponent and see their movements so that you can properly make your own moves? So it's life is a fight. Being an entrepreneur is a fight.
It is. There's so many pivots. I feel like everyone's using that word but it's true. That's exactly what it is. It's pivoting. Everyone's doing their best.
Wild and crazy times.
Wild and crazy times. COVID,
If you send me that email, I'm not responding. If you go, hope you're staying safe and sane in these wild and crazy times, I'm going to take my computer and I'm going to launch it into the Hudson and I'm never going to open it again. I can't do it. We all know it's fucked up right now. God damn it. You don't got to point it out.
Mental note to me. That's just how a polite person sends an email,
that's
Noah.
Because, you're in what? Indiana? You're so polite. You're so sweet. You're so sweet. Your dad drives Harleys.
It's true. He's got
I don't know
a couple.
if I can come over for family dinner. I have a Ducati. I don't think your dad would like my kind.
I don't know.
Harleys and sport bikes have kind of like some friction. So
is that a crotch rocket?
Oh, damn. No, it's a finely tuned Italian motorcycle. God damn. Yes, it's a crotch rocket. Yes.
Okay. Then I know what it is. Okay. But would you say that during quarantine, obviously we pivoted, we've established that, but would you say that the goal changed from instead of making money, and not that that's your number one goal, but to a degree, you have to make money to continue to serve people, right? You're a business.
Honest, it's funny you say that because Eugene Rem, my partner, goes, I don't give a shit about making money right now. He said that in our meeting when we launched IG Live. When we
So it's
launched the IP Live,
engagement. It was community building.
it was all about, yes, it was all about, listen, the world is on fire right now. A dumpster, a whole ass dumpster fire. We provide great fitness that makes people feel good. Let's do that. That was it. And then through that, again, that genuine just love of service to others is our rent for a room here on earth. We were able to pivot that into Zoom, and the Zoom classes, Rumble Television. And we marketed it cool because we grew up in that MTV generation. All right. So we were watching like all these cool, like, cartoony MTV style videos. And so we made our marketing collateral like that, in that respect, to show respect to that time, that era, that nostalgia, and people resonate with it. So we did the Rumble TV, and we're doing hundreds of people there, hundreds and hundreds of people, probably 500 plus people a day there with just Rumble TV, with just our trainers in their homes doing what they love, connecting to people. So,
are you finding that you're actually gaining more of an international audience, or in cities where you don't have Rumble studios, that you're now attracting these new customers or a new fan base, really, when you do open back up?
Yeah, I mean, that's the goal, I think, to convert people that we've reached, whether it be, Singapore, or I get messages from all over Eastern Europe and China and where else? Australia and New Zealand. Like, I've gotten messages from everywhere. Like, hey, mate, like I love Rumble TV. It's kept me sane. I love it. I can't wait to come to New York and try it out. But like, we're going to launch a more substantial digital, not Zoom, like on our own eventually. It's just a very expensive play. So you got to make sure, you don't want to step into that too hastily. So we'll make a digital play where it's something substantial. And yeah, of course, like what we're doing now. But the goal, like, there's two quotes that I always say. It's the Muhammad Ali one and the Steve Jobs one, which is focus on the product and not the profit, because I feel like those two really sum up what I'm about. I got it as a lower back tattoo. It goes right down to my right butt cheek. No, it doesn't. It doesn't do that. I didn't get that. But focus on the product and not the profit. So when you're too busy focusing on making money, you lose sight of what is really going to make you money, which is, let's have a really good product. Let's really take care of people. Let's over deliver. And then the product will speak for itself. So that's really what we're focusing on, whether it be Rumble TV, whether it's our live classes, whether it's our eventual digital platform. It's just, let's focus on giving the best product we can and making people feel really damn good and doing it in only the way that we can, because it's our personality. It's our unique DNA and our conglomeration of some unique people coming together and doing some cool things together.
So when are you opening an international studio?
Sheesh. I don't know. We were looking at London. I mean, I honestly don't know. I'm trying to open my 13 that we have already. So so I think that's the next step, is just getting these open. We just opened DC. We're doing really cool digital month-long programs. We have this Rumble Oktoberfest, where it's a 3-week-long program where we have Facebook groups for additional live content. And last program we did month-long, where it's like 6 days a week. We had over 500 plus people sign up for 6 days a week, just training with your favorite trainers. So we're trying to do more programs like that. That launches in October very soon. So you can sign up now online, doyourumble.com. And that's it. We're just trying to stay busy and do it. Like I said, it all comes back to doing what we do best and doing what we love to do, which is just provide people with fitness that's fun and that works.
Well, you do a great job of it. You guys are innovators. You're trailblazers in the industry. And like you mentioned, it's an oversaturated industry. So to make a name for yourself as quickly as you had, it's very impressive. And you're still growing. So, I mean, I love the fact that I got to work out with you before all of this Rumble.
Right? In my basement gym, just working out with you guys.
Yeah, it was incredible. All right. Well, we have a new segment on the show called Ask a Friend. So I actually have a number on my website that people call in and ask their questions about business, wellness, and personal development. So I've got 3 questions for you. Jessica from Ohio says, with so much going on in your career, how do you recharge?
Ducatis and dogs. No, seriously. I love these dogs to death. I think that's always been my passion. I've grown up around animals, and to be able to rescue these dogs and take them to the dog park, and that's just, you got to find what you love, and you got to be able to do it a little bit. And I'm very fortunate that I've built a career that enables me that mobility to be, home with them at noon so I can take them to the park, and maybe, in between classes, and ride the Ducati for 45 minutes and just clear my mind, where you're focused on not dying. And that's all you could focus on, is just like being, no, seriously, it's morbid, but it's true. Like, you can't be on your Instagram, you can't be on the phone. Like, we're so caught up in living in the future or living in the past that we forget to just be right here, right now. And I think that those two things, again, Ducatis and dogs, I should start a segment. I might start a podcast right here.
You should start a podcast called Ducatis and Dogs.
Ducatis and Dogs.
$1 million idea.
And obviously hanging out with friends as much as you can now during COVID. But I think that, again, to like these creatures, these beautiful, the most angelic creatures in the world, like they wouldn't survive without you feeding them, walking them, taking care of them, giving them love, training them properly to not bite somebody when you're walking down the street. Like that's really been my saving grace since before I was even successful. Like when I got rescued Oz 13 plus years ago, I was in a world of just fucking mess. But who didn't care was Oz. And like, it's one of those things, like I got him tatted on my arm.
How many tattoos do you have now?
Listen, Mom, you're talking about my motorcycles and my tattoos a lot, and it's not stopping. I'm not done yet. It's just the tattoo shops have been closed. Actually, that's my parents, right? My parents, and they're 18. They were 18 years old. That's their engagement photo.
Wow.
I went the other way. I was not engaged at 18, but they are. They look like Paul Newman and like Audrey Hepburn. So,
are you the favorite kid because you got your parents tattooed on your arm?
No. My parents would never do that. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so again, you got to find something that you love and do it. I don't care what it is. If it's taking a hike, if something for yourself that you really just makes you feel, like you said, that's such a great word, is recharge, because so much energy out and we never invest. Like we have this stupid culture, like no days off and you sleep when you're dead. And like this fucking preacher, like this like Instagram, like fitness trainer preacher, like it's like, fuck you guys. Like I hate it because it's not true. It's just not true. Like I got to take some time off. I got to go, read a book in the park with the dogs and like chill. You asked me, you're going to ask me my favorite book, right? I did my own segue. Own segue.
Yeah.
So let me see if I can grab it. I got like my place is a mess right now. I apologize. I don't know where it is.
Okay. While you're getting that book, oh, you got it. Okay.
2 books. So one is Mythos by Stephen Fry. I really love Greek mythology. I think it's incredible. It's like the original Avengers book. So Mythos by Stephen Fry is absolutely incredible. This is going to be my next tattoo, actually, right there. So it's when the gods, like all the Greek gods, were fighting the Titans. I'm going to say this wrong. It's the Titan Maki. It's when they were fighting, and there's a beautiful picture of Zeus and all the gods fighting the Titans. That's going to go on my shoulder as soon as I can. They love it. They love the idea.
They're all for it.
The Rose That Grew from Concrete, Tupac Shakur, is a collection of poetry from his teenage years, which is a really good dive into the psychology of Tupac Shakur, which is, I'm an East Coast kid. I love Biggie Smalls, but Biggie Smalls doesn't have a book of poetry. And if you need something to read, Tupac Shakur, The Rose That Grew from Concrete, which is also a very simple but beautiful, elegant point. The Rose That Grew from Concrete.
It's awesome. Well, now we're in the I Have Cool Recs, and you just gave us your book. Do you have a podcast that you listen to? Podcast recommendation?
I know this is weird because I'm on a podcast right now. I'm not a big podcast guy. I'm not. I've never been a big podcast guy, but I will recommend I recommend my friend? Like you said that.
Absolutely.
So Jeremiah Maestre, you'll be able to link his Instagram and all that stuff. Mm-hmm. He's an incredible trainer, and he's a new father, and he dresses his baby in like fear of God. And it's the coolest thing ever. It's like, he's cool. He's cool. He's much cooler than I, but he's just so passionate about fitness, and he's such a great boxer. And he really just loves bringing his knowledge of fitness and boxing and the empowering feelings that are coupled with boxing, whether you're, a fair weather boxer or an amateur or pro. And he's just a great dude. He's just the nicest dude in the world. So like, he's got all these digital programs and online programs up right now. So definitely check him out, Jeremiah. He's like, honestly, probably the greatest in the game. And we got a lot of shitty ones here. We got a lot of Instagram dudes that are just like, they would just want to drive around in rented Maseratis and tell you that you're a piece of shit and you're fat because it's your fault. And like, you should buy their ebook or you're going to be a loser. And like, it's just, that's not him. And that's not us, but that's not him. And I try to surround myself with people like that. So definitely him. Podcasts like How I Built This, Guy Reza is good. I do that on the car rides with my brother back to Pittsburgh.
What about a TV show or a movie?
Movie. I told you this is going to happen. Like when you ask somebody their movies and they forgot every movie they've ever seen. I'm a big horror fan. So actually, I just saw this movie, Mandy, Nicolas Cage. It's a app called Mandy. And Clockwork Orange, like these really like crazy.
Can I guess what I thought you were going to say?
That's like my style. And TV show. I've been watching The Boys lately, which is good. I watched the first 2 seasons so far. I watched 000, which is a great show about like the drug trafficking. It's on Amazon. And what else? Sneakerheads, King. My friend King is just started a show on Netflix called Sneakerheads, which is if the one thing that I really do love, it's sneakers.
Can I tell you what I thought you were going to say? Your favorite movie was Rocky.
Oh, well, come on. That would have been way too cliche. Obviously, I love Rocky and Rambo and Predator movies and like all the guy things, but I'm a big horror buff film. Like, I love shitty horror. Like, the shittier horror movie, the better. Like, the campier, the better. Like, Friday the 13th, Michael Myers stuff, and like Pumpkinhead and Children of the Corn. And like, I can go on forever. But I can't, because guess what? I got to bounce right now because I have to teach at 5:30. We cut this hella tight because you're important and I miss you and I care about you. And this is such a cool thing that you're doing. And I'm very proud of you. And I'm honored.
Thank you. Thank you so much. Really quick before you go,
yes.
How can listeners follow you or find you on social media?
So make sure you do all the Instagrams, follow me, buy my skinny tee. No, don't do that. Fashion note at Noah D. Neiman, at Noah D. Neiman. That's really it. And just DM me like we're friends and I'll try to get back to you and like talk to you like a human.
Awesome. Cool. We'll link all of your stuff. I'll let you know when it's coming out. Thank you so much for your time, and tell your dogs I said hi.
I will. Thank you so much for having me on. I appreciate you. And let's catch up. I miss you.
Sounds good. I miss you too. I'll see you when I'm in New York. Noah had to run, but I wanted to say thank you to you guys for listening. And again, don't forget to use the friend line to ask your questions about business, wellness, and personal development. And don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, leave a comment, and get in on the follow-up conversation on our Facebook, Instagram, or YouTube channel. Tune in for a new episode next week. See you then.